Welcome to another live Sunday session for Earthworks Hub. I'm Ivan Orlovic, your host, and this is the only hub that you should be watching. The only hub your missus will want you to be watching. Alright, so tonight I am a little bit flat, put up with me. I've been working all weekend at Project Spalding. I am absolutely knackered. Hopefully I'll get perked up a little bit with our guests that are going to come on. So yes, I will be having some guests again tonight to help answer all your questions. We've got a good topic coming up, so make sure that you have some questions ready, and we've got an interesting topic for you to listen to. So I will invite my guests on in a second. Let me just go through the regular stuff and we'll get to them. It's Sunday the 15th of September. Christmas is around the corner. So yeah, I'll tell you what, things are going quick. School holidays are coming up. And then before you know it, it'll be the last term of school, and then that's it, man. Christmas holidays, all that jazz. So the year has gone very, very quick. Quick shout out to all my sponsors before we keep going. Network Finance, the Bole Group. I've done some work with those guys this week, so I'll talk about that in a second. Melbourne Tractors, Spartan Machinery, Godings, Earthmoving Warehouse, Digga, Digga Lid. So Digga Lid, make sure if you want to buy something from Digga Lid, I've got a discount code for all members. It's eWorks Hub. So I've posted a couple of things up recently. People have already started. They've been buying and using the code, so they're obviously getting a discount. Make sure you use that code when you go on there. JR Safety Co. and Nexgen Landscapes and Earthworks. So thank you to all my sponsors. Without you, I wouldn't be able to keep going like this, so it's really, really helpful. And a big, big shout out to TerraPro, who sent me this gift. I didn't actually know what he was sending. He did actually ask for the mailing address, and I thought, oh, he's sending me something, but didn't expect this. Very good, nice hat, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. From Shane at TerraPro. Project updates. Like I said, I've been working flat out at Project Spalding. I'm trying to get that warehouse up and running. It's like right here where I'm at the end of it. And it's just all these little things now that are just taking up all my time, you know, like all little landscaping bits, line marking, bollards, putting all the taps and fittings in, and all the door handles and door stoppers and all that stuff, man. I can't believe how long it takes to do all that. So just today I spent heaps of time putting all the door stoppers in, all the door handles, all the toilet roll holders, all the disabled toilet hand grab rails, all that stuff. So there's a fair bit involved, so that's why I'm pretty knackered today, man. But Project Spalding going ahead, everything's painted, all the outside's done, all the inside's done. So now just all the little fiddly bits. That warehouse will be up for sale. I'm going to sell that warehouse, I've decided. So if someone wants to sell it, buy a warehouse in North Sunshine in Melbourne, good location, man. You can hit me up. Unless somebody offers me a really good deal for lease, then we might consider it. But probably selling at this stage. Posts through the week. So during the week, I posted a couple of things. So one is one you might have already noticed. I did an interview with Alex from ADM Civil and Landscape. Very, very nice guy. That was only not yesterday, day before we did that. So I've posted that up today, so you should go to YouTube and Spotify and Apple and all that, and it should be up there. Very, very interesting interview if you want to go ahead and watch that after the show, or listen to it tomorrow while you're at work. I won't say too much. I'll let you guys watch it and see what you think. Anyway, so Alex, top guy, thanks for doing the interview. He did it live, so a lot of people get nervous doing interviews, let alone doing them live, and he was happy to do that. So no preparation, just on the spot, let's do it, and an awesome interview, so top guy. So thank you very much to Alex. My Komatsu PC130 that I was using, you've seen that post, the actual dipper arm snapped or cracked right at the bottom of the dipper arm on where the pin boss goes in. I had some interesting comments, people saying, oh, you should have picked that up during the pre-start, you should have, being rough with the machine or not operating correctly, blah, blah, blah. So everyone's got their opinions. That has been repaired before. So that actually snapped in the same spot a while ago. And they were telling me that they had it all repaired and that. So obviously it's become a bit of a weak spot. And we're lifting out some concrete at the job I'm working on. We're just peeling up all this concrete from an old prefab wall manufacturer. So we're taking all the old concrete out, getting it ready for I think 30 odd warehouses to get built on there. And yeah, while we were peeling the concrete off with the ripper, I found that it broke. So unfortunately, these things happen. And like I was saying, you need to have a buffer for these things. A lot of people don't hold some money aside for big repairs like that. So you gotta have that. That's not going to be a cheap repair, I can tell you that. So then luckily we had Dylan out. So he came out to he's from down south Diesel and Engineering. He came out to take it away to repair the dipper arm. So I got to meet him. Nice guy, man. So nice to meet you as well, Dylan, from down south Diesel. What else? And I also posted up a like a question or a poll on what's the best way to store your breaker, your rock breaker or your hammer overnight. So we had some interesting comments on that one as well. It looks like option C was the most popular, and that was having the hammer with the chisel straight down into the ground in front of your buckets, rather than having it laying down on top of the buckets or in front. So everyone had their comments on that. I'll also ask the boys when they come on in a second, we can all sort of discuss that as well. And people gave some really good reasons as to why you should have it down with the pin straight down. So thank you for everyone that gave that input. And then I used the Cabalco SK225, so the zero swing 20-ton machine. Nice machine. However, I did notice it doesn't have a blade on this one, so it's very rocky. You can't like stabilize yourself when you're hammering or when you're loading out. So it is very, very rocky. And what I found is that it's got a lot of like overswing. So it builds up all this energy as you start turning or slewing, and then it's hard to slow it down. Like it builds up this instant speed, and then as you want to slow down to like put your bucket on the ground and start scraping, it wants to keep swinging. So I call it like an overswing. That's what I noticed about it. It's got like a big build up, and then it can't slow itself down in time. But it's almost instant. So as soon as you start swinging, it just like builds this like an elastic and just keeps going. So yeah, that's what I found with that. And there was no storage. So I don't know about the newer models. This is a pretty old one, 11 to 12,000 hours I think are on it. So I don't know what year it is, but yeah, there's nowhere to put your shifters for the hammer and stuff. So you have to keep them in the cabin, and like it just smell hydraulic oil all day. Even with all the cap fittings for the hammer pipes and that, it just leaks. So then you've got hydraulic on the floor, and it stinks, man. So that's something that I didn't like about it. And merch, don't forget, a lot of guys have recently posted up on their why there's been a bit of a spurt. Everyone's getting merch from Earthworks Hub, earthworkshub.com.au. You can go on there, go to shop up in the right hand corner. It takes you to the merch store, and then you can buy merch there. So like I said, I've got hats and all that coming on the way, but at the moment there's hoodies and t-shirts. So we've had a guy, special shout out to Brent, who was showing off his red hoodie that he bought, and all the other guys that have purchased them and that. Thank you very much for doing that. You've got to show your support for Earthworks Hub. Alright, so without further ado, I promise you I'm going to have some guests on. To everybody on TikTok, like I said last time, I'm sorry I can't work it out that I can do guests on both at once. So unfortunately, most of the guys that I'm interviewing, everyone's on sort of Instagram. So if you can go over to Instagram, you can join on to Earthworks Hub there, and you can watch our live, or you can go on to the YouTube channel later or Spotify, and you can watch it there. So I'll download it during the week, and you can watch it. So there you go. Brent has just joined us. I was just praising you for showing off your red hoodie, man. So thank you very much for showing your support for Earthworks Hub as well. All right, so TikTokers, I'm going to sign you guys off, and then I'm going to go back to Instagram and invite my guests. Have a good night, all you TikTokers. Thanks for joining me as well. Sorry, I did see some comments from you guys there. Hello to everyone that said hello and likes and follows. 4 million. Wow. That's it. And he's saying he loves the cave. No worries. Thank you, guys. I'll speak to you guys during the week anyway. All right, so that's the TikTokers gone. Sorry, people. They're not going to like me. All right. Now, here we go. I'm going to invite these people. Here we go. We've got people joining. Hey.
What's going on?
Andrew, nice to see you again, man.
Wait, nice to see you guys.
That's it. Jack's gone sideways on us. You got to flip it around.
There we go.
Jack, thanks for joining, man. Thank you very much. Mate, I tell you, it's good, man. Today I was really hanging to do this again. I like these like gatherings, I suppose, if that's what you want to call it. So, thank you for coming back on again, guys. We've got Andrew from Sydney Rockwalls. We've got Jack from EMBE Hire. So, thank you very much for joining us, guys.
No dramas, mate.
All right, beautiful. All right, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to open up with a topic. So we're going to talk about, the first thing is we're going to talk about what to put in your quotes. So what you should, some of the vital things you've got to put in there. So listeners, think of some things as well. We're going to give you a couple of things and then we're happy to talk about that. And then we can also answer any other questions that you have. So thank you to everyone for joining again. All right. So do you guys want to kick off with any points? So what can anyone that is creating a quote, what should they include in there? Just even if we start with basics.
So I normally try to, obviously everyone's going to be different. We tailor our, our clauses to our own sort of niche market. But yeah, I just sort of try and cover what you can see from above the ground, because obviously we're digging blind. You can't tell what's underneath the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like a rock clause and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep. Excellent. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Even with that, so if I do a quote, I usually say like, if we hit rock, it's going to be so much per ton to get it out, or so much per meter, or I say like it's going to be so much per hour to use the hammer and break it, and then whatever the trucks cost to get rid of it and stuff like that. So you gotta have that. Yeah.
I try not to put prices or anything like that. It's more just additional costs. So when it does arise, we can talk about it, because you never know what the client wants to do. They might say, "Nah, dig it out, leave it to the side. I'll sort it out later."
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's the same with rubbish, asbestos. So what I do is I always put in there like a clause to say, anything that's not like, soil or clay or whatever. So any rubbish, asbestos, bricks, concrete, whatever we find that's not soil, is going to be extra. It's going to be a variation.
Yeah.
What's Austrac Civil saying? Austrac Civil saying no unexpected findings allowed. For all unexpected findings, extra over being rock, contaminated material, etc. Yeah, so he's saying similar stuff. Yeah. What about yourself, Jacko? Any points? What do you always include?
We don't have to worry about rock here. There's none of that. Quoting's one of them things. It's really, really difficult, isn't it? Because you never ever quoting apples for apples. Like, so just because you've got a drawing and it specifies a certain rock to go in or whatever, doesn't mean that the other contractor's quoting that, does it? Like, it's very, very difficult to quote competitively, isn't it? Like, you never ever quoting apples for apples, even though you're quoting what you think's the right thing and what the species were working for. The next bloke's probably not. He's found a cheaper way to do it, or you're digging it out with a 5-tonner and he's digging it out with a 12-tonner. Like, you're never quoting apples for apples.
Yeah, it's true. That's the other thing. What I always try and do is so usually if they're giving me like a proper tender document to look at, I'll just copy the same scope of works points and then just say I'm going to do this, and basically copy and paste their points, so that I'll make sure that I'm answering every single bit on there of what they want, so that everyone else is probably doing the same thing,
Yep.
Oh, that's good. So apart from the other things I was going to say is you've got to put your company details obviously on there, the date, and then when you do a date, I always give it like an end date. So I say like, the quote is only valid for 30 days. So that way if prices change on me during that time, I don't suffer, because that's happened in the past too, yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you guys ever had that?
Quarry likes to go up like the fuel.
Yeah. Has that happened to anyone?
They don't tell you, they just put it up.
They do, man. They do. Have you guys ever had something like that happen? Like, have you quoted something and then not long after the quote, the prices have gone up or something's happened?
Yeah, I get
really, really careful at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it
into financial year is a big one. You go, I can't see him on the screen, so I don't know when he's talking.
Oh, you can't see him?
No, I can't. No.
Can you see each other?
I've only got you.
Can you both
I can see you, Jack.
Oh.
Yeah, I can only see Ivan. So I don't know what I've done here. I had a look before and I couldn't find nothing.
That's weird. That's weird. What about hang on, what if you jump out, Jack? If you just close it off and then they'll invite you in again? Maybe you needed to like come in a different way.
Yeah, Roger.
Try that, and then we'll start again. All right, let's try this, guys. All right, I'll invite him back in. People, we are excavator operators. We're not techies, so as you can see here.
Yeah, we're doing living.
Can you see everyone?
Yeah, no, we're on now. I've just got to get them back up here.
You just got to centralise your camera a bit.
Yeah,
too,
no,
maybe.
we're gone now. We're on.
Oh, good. Very good. There we go. I was just saying that we operate excavators. We don't operate phones and technology. So, yeah.
Oh, Jack might have the upper hand with the old MOBA system.
Yeah, true.
Oh,
true.
yeah.
He's
been running the elbow for a while.
Actually, before we go on, how are you finding that system? How's it going?
Yeah, no, it's really good. Yeah. Just sort of, just trying a few different things with it. We did some trenching with it today and that, so we just set an A-B line and tried to follow that because trenching and skid steers are a pain in the dick. You can't see where you're going because you're going backwards all the time. So, yeah, using it for that, she was unreal. That was the go. Yeah, definitely be all over that.
There you go, man. So you're still happy with it? Good choice, you reckon?
Yeah, yep. I don't think it matters what brand you go. You've got to sort of stick with one, because to do it cost effectively, we're ripping, the mushrooms and the screen and that off the digger to put it in the skid steer. So, like, if you had two different brands, you'd be paying double the money to sort of have it on two machines, whereas you get out of it for like a third again, each machine you add on.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty cost effective that way.
Yeah. No, true. What, so for all... Yes, I say again?
That's what you have to look for is, what you can get out of it at the cheapest sort of rate, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And like you say, you want it to be able to be compatible with multiple machines. If you're going to buy, a system like that, you got to make sure it can work on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
100%. It's just too expensive otherwise. Like for our market, like general hire stuff, like it's all right if you got 100 blokes on and you're running 50 diggers. Like it's a bit different then, but
yeah. Yeah. So for all the listeners now, what system do you have, just so they know? Like, what's the actual name? Do you know the specs? And
yeah. So it's the MOBA Excite Pro, Excite 3D Pro.
All right. Yep. There you go. Just in case anyone's thinking about what's he talking about. No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, no, everyone should have it.
Yeah, I reckon it's the future. We always say it. It's definitely the future. All right. So we'll go back quickly to what you include in your quotes. So yeah, same thing I was saying. So yeah, we had the date of the quote, and then I was saying you got to put an end date so you don't get shafted when prices change on you before you go and do the job. Your company details, scope of work. So I always say exactly what we were saying before. I just copy and paste their scope to make sure that I've got exactly what they say. And then we were saying the clauses. So I had the rocks, contaminated material, rubbish, concrete, and then I put delays. So variations will be in case we're delayed, like if they've got like a site that's in a little laneway and you've got to wait for cars constantly to get in and out, or you've got like deliveries that have to be scheduled, so you can't just have trucks turn up whenever. Things like that where you get prevented from being able to just access a site whenever you want.
Yeah, things are in your control.
Yeah, and then for example, like I was quoting a job at a Defence Force barracks, and there everybody that comes on site has to be escorted. So you've got to come in, get all verified every day, do a massive induction every day. Then someone's got to escort you to the job and stay with you while you're working, and it just prolongs the whole job, So you've got to be able to allow for that extra time.
At least in the army places, you're allowed to have your phone. I've done a heap of work at prisons, and you're not even allowed to have your phone. So every time you want to order rock or get something, you go to the lockbox out the front. Takes you half an hour to get in and out of the security there to go make one phone call, and you can't get onto them, so then you've got to go back and check your phone in half hour to see if they've rang you back. Just play phone tag all day, and you're not even allowed to have your phone with you. It is a nightmare.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff.
Yeah. I suppose you're trying to manage the job and you can't even like access the phone. Yeah, it just makes it hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got HPT Excavations is saying, I have disclaimers for crossover damage, etc., and or unmarked services. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you got to have clauses in there that, you know, if something's damaged or whatever, you can't help it. Coming tracking in and out with machines and stuff. If it breaks, you know, what can you do? If that's what they want you to go over, or they can provide something to protect it. Yeah, good point. Good point. What else is there? So in the quotes, what I also do is put like an estimated time frame. So I'll try and say like, you know, it's going to be 3-4 weeks or whatever it is. What else is there? I put in payment terms is a big one. Yeah, so you got to put in, what do you want? Do you want a deposit at the start? Do you want a progress payment? When's the final payment going to be due? So what else do you guys reckon?
Well, I suppose mine for like for me rock walls and that, it's always, I've got a clause in there that it states that it could be color variation, like if that's something out of my control, man-made product, it's hard to control that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yep.
Would have thought of that.
Yeah. That's because you know what? It's true. Customers probably think it's just going to all be like one specific color and this and that. Yeah, exactly.
100%, mate. It's not the first time I've got a load and you get a second one and it's totally different. Looks like it's come from a different place, and yeah, but it's out of your control. You can't pick and choose, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you do if the customer just says, no, I don't want these? What happens then?
Yeah, you try and explain to them, or you try and mix it in the best you can, and you know it all changes over time. It's sandstone, you know, it weathers, it gets dirty, it changes with the sun and weather and whatnot. So yeah, you just try and explain to them that it will change over time, and yeah, give it a couple of years, you won't even notice the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, we all look the same. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
true.
it.
True. No, that's good. Another one I say is if they have, like, if I'm doing just for instance a site cut for a residential house or something, and they have the cut level written down on there, I'll actually write down in the quote that I'm going to cut down to this level, you know, to your RL 59.6, whatever. I say that's the cut level I'm going to, just so that way if they say to me, oh no, you got to go deeper, and I'll say, well, I'm going to the RL that you gave me. So if it's going to be any more, that's going to be extra, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic, has anyone come unstuck? Like, you know, from a quote being like, you've done something and yeah, they're not happy with it, and it's all, you know, because it hasn't been worded properly or you've missed it. And yeah, has anyone come unstuck?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember anything in specific. There have been some things, for example, like actually, you know what? Something I did do in the past is when I started digging out for like retaining walls or like, you know, like in a basement for the block retaining walls and that, I didn't allow for that little bit of extra space behind the wall. You know how they always want you to dig like 400 mil back or 500 mil back so they can do their waterproofing membrane and put all the scoria and stuff in and their drains. So initially when I was quoting, I just quoted it enough right up to the wall and didn't actually quote that extra bit all the way around the perimeter. And that cost me heaps. Yeah. And luckily, I think the first time the customer was really good. He was like, oh, you understood. Like he said, oh, I know you didn't allow for it, but it was someone that I was pretty close with. But I had another one where the guy, he really like refused to pay. He was like, well, that's the quote you gave me. That's what it is. It's your bad luck. So it happens. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know how you got to ramp up behind the retaining walls, leave a bit of a gap.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Someone wrote "Smile, Jack." Yeah.
Old Alex, he's a shaky bugger, isn't he?
Yeah, cheeky bugger, telling you to smile. Yeah. Actually, you know what? My wife always tells me. She goes, "You never smile on there." I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I am. I don't think I'm just concentrating, man.
Yeah, too busy.
Yeah, that's it. What else is there? So, the other thing is, as we're talking about that, is what about allowing for the expansion or the aeration? So, I know a lot of people have asked me how to quote something, and they estimate the soil, and they always say, is that loose or is that solid? Like, is that, have you times it by, usually I do like soil or clay material, I do like times 1.7. So I times whatever the quantity is by 1.7, and that allows for the aeration. And then for rock, I'll usually double it. So, because when you're loading rock and all that, you got all those gaps and stuff, it's not going to always load up properly. So I usually, like, whatever I work out on my quotes for rock, I'll double it, and that makes it so that's my quantity. Is that how you guys do it? What does everyone else do?
Pretty sure the Vulcan method is a third for clay, so yeah, I'll usually just add a third to it.
Yeah.
I think there's actually a method I think I found on Google once upon a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do much of that, so I wouldn't really know.
Rock, I couldn't tell you because I don't do any rock. I've only seen rock once.
You're so lucky, mate. Yeah. Yeah.
We can give you some mud if you want some mud. We get plenty of that, but I haven't seen any rock.
No, you can keep that.
Yeah. Yeah, the rock kills us here. I'm in Melbourne, everything's just rock, man. Especially in the west and the north. It's just anything you touch is just rock. Everyone's got a hammer, everyone's got a sorting bucket. I remember I went and did a job in the southeast, and I brought my hammer and my sorting bucket and that over, and the guy said to me, "What do you need that for?" And I was saying, "What do you mean, what do I need that for?" And he goes, "Like, we don't have any rocks in that here." And I said, "Well, I've been working up in the north until now." And he goes, "Oh yeah, I understand then. That's all right. It's all good." Because everyone has to have one here. It's just crazy. So hopefully everyone else in Melbourne that's on will agree with me. But yeah, we're full of rock here. Full of it. So that's basically all the notes I had. So if we just went over it again, all the company details, try and go put an end date for your quote. So 30 days, 15 days, whatever you want to put on it. Your payment terms, all your variations and clauses. I put estimated timeframes. You guys were saying as well, that, just so you don't get unstuck on things. So you got to, what else did I say? You should put RLs and cut levels, so that way they know that's what I'm going to cut to, and then allow for that aeration and stuff. So don't just get caught out calculating your cubic meters and then not making it loose, because once you start moving it around, it just keeps expanding. So
probably another valid point there is, like any material you're bringing back in, you need to work out on loose cubes too. Like, if you're ordering in rock, you can't just work it out on solid cubes, because you've got to allow for compaction, allow for it to come in the truck wet, whatever.
That's a good point, man. Exactly, yeah. And as well, how you're going to get water on site. So yeah, if you are putting rock down or something and you got to compact it, you got to work out how you're going to get water on site, because not every site will have like access to water. So you're going to have to get a water cart. Have they got water, like a tap on site? Yeah, that's true. That's I didn't even think of that. There's a good one. Yeah. What about yourself, Andrew? When you do those retaining walls and that, do you put like scoria and all that stuff behind them? Do they work the same as regular sleeper retaining walls?
So is that like the fabric you're talking about?
Yeah. Do you put like fabric and then scoria and Aggie pipes and stuff behind the walls?
Yeah, so we use the fabric, I use the Aggie pipe, and I'll just use like a drainage material, like a quarry drainage material.
Yeah. So
like I said,
you got to allow for those
Scoria
things too.
is a pretty local product, I think, isn't it, for this area? I think I don't know whether they call it scoria everywhere in the planet.
Sorry, yeah.
Filter rag or something.
Yeah,
real technical term.
There you go. Sorry, yeah, that's me using my Melbourne terms. Yeah. Hey, that's like bogies. People call them called bogies. We call them tandems. I don't know. Everyone's got different names for trucks and that.
Yeah, everyone calls them different.
Yeah. We got Neilsy. Neilsy's saying the number of float shifts on the bigger jobs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So sometimes, even if you do like a basement, I've been caught out on that where I finish digging and then they say to me, I bulk it all out. Then they say, "Oh, you got to take your machine away, so we can do all the shotcrete and do this." And I'm like, "Hang on a minute. I didn't allow for that, so now I've got to pay for a float to go out and then come back when they're ready for me to keep digging the next level." And yeah, so they can't always keep your machine on site. They might need you to take it away and bring it back. Yeah, that's a good point, Neilsy. All right, that's it for the quotes. Is there anything else you guys want to add for that?
I think you guys have covered it all, yeah.
All right, beautiful. So we'll let all the viewers now. So if you guys want to add something, feel free to ask questions. I'm just going to talk to the boys now about my week with the dipper arm and that. So, did you guys see my post about the? I know some of you both did, I think already, but the PC 130, the dipper arm snapped at the bottom. What do you
I
Pretty
guys
did
think
see
rude
about
that,
that?
yeah.
today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Big break, man. That was a big break. Yeah.
It's pretty rude
I
setup.
Yeah, um it's interesting because they were telling me afterwards that not to feel so bad because it's broken before. So a while back, one of the other guys broke it. So I don't know what he was doing with it, but so it's already, I suppose, a weak spot. But yeah, I've had one of my operators on my old SK50, the old Cabalco 5 tonner, snap the top of the dipper arm, where the ram attaches to it. So it's got the little where the pin goes through. So
Yeah, yes.
we were doing some similar work. He was ripping up an old driveway, and I don't know if it's just over wear and tear or if over too much pressure, like trying to lift too much at once, and it snapped up there. But we've never had it snap down the bottom on the dipper arm.
Yeah,
Um,
I've never seen something like that before.
yeah,
Done some
yeah,
pretty wild shit with a digger before, and I've never thought I was going to snap one. I don't know whether it's just wear and tear or whether it is just, I don't know, every now and then someone gets a shit one or
yeah,
like, there wouldn't be too many days where you don't pull your whole machine weight on the machine, is there? Like, even when you're
yeah,
digging, you're pretty much just trying to pull yourself towards it. Like, you're always putting the weight of the machine on that, on any of all those sections. Every single pin's copping it. Like,
yeah,
they're all
yeah,
copping that weight of the machine all the time. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's interesting. I got a lot of feedback on it on my posts. People saying, "Oh, you should have seen that during the pre-start, or you should have, not been so rough with the machine and all these things." And I was like, "Yeah." And then they're saying, "Oh, it must have been a dodgy repair." I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But over my time, I've seen a lot of things happen. Nothing that major, but I have seen things break and or bend and bow and stuff.
But that would be the other thing too. Like, if it's been repaired there before, like they're generally are just a weak spot straight away.
Yeah, yeah. You can see the guy that repaired it put an extra plate on it, so there is like another plate that's been added to it. But obviously, yeah, like you say, it has become a weak spot now. Yeah.
Yeah,
And what else was there? And then yeah, storing your hammer overnight. Did you guys see that post?
I
yeah, I did
did,
see
but
that
I'm
one.
not
Yeah.
going to comment.
Why is that?
Well, so I don't know anything about how you meant to store it. Mine sits flat in the shed every day, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It works when I put it on.
I forgot about that.
Never
You
been
did say
told
that.
not to.
Yeah. Now I
Yeah.
got a lot of people saying to obviously option C was the clear winner. Everybody said C, which is the one where you had the pin facing straight down, and that was because most of them were saying that way the cylinder doesn't get wet when it's sitting when you lay it down on an angle on the floor. All the rain and stuff gets in down the moil or the pin or the chisel, and it just sits inside. Seal gets obviously corroded or rotted, whatever, over time. I don't know. And then they're saying that it also protects the seal when you have it down towards the ground and no leakages. And I don't know. Everyone was just saying C was the best way. So obviously that's the best way to do it.
I read the
Um,
manual on mine, and it didn't say you had to do anything specific, but I suppose everyone's got their ways.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know I have been told that, well, I'm pretty sure it was from a manufacturer of a hammer, that, yeah, the best way was to store a hammer by standing up from the chisel end.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go then.
Yeah,
So they're probably all correct then. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But
All right.
it comes down to the circumstances. Is that the best way to protect your buckets, like to lock your machine up at the end of the day? Like, if lying it down over the top makes it that little bit harder for it to go missing, well, then do it that way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I suppose you might spend, I don't know, maybe $1,000 to fix that hammer every 3 years or something by doing that. But at least you haven't got like a $10,000 bucket missing. You know what I mean? In between.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
that's
true.
I
right.
think if
You got to
you're using
balance
a
it.
hammer as much as what you say you do in Melbourne, I'm tipping it probably doesn't make much difference. You're going to be replacing seals and moils and shit anyway. Like, you're going to be wearing them out before they're fucked.
Yeah, exactly right, man. Exactly, yeah. Eventually it's going to go anyway, so exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
True, true. All right. Hey, what about
Same old saying, I suppose. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
yeah, yeah. And then, obviously a lot of people like to give their opinions and that, so I don't know. It's good. I do things like that. I'll post them up just to see what everyone says, Get the
That's
conversation
it.
going.
Always a giggle, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's what I had for the topics and that. What do you guys have? Is there anything that you guys want to discuss, or even the listeners? Yeah, let's hear what anyone wants us to talk about. Give us a topic, or if any of you young lads want to say anything or talk about something.
You're all saying that it's quiet and that, and I know we've talked about it before, and I don't know, I've just been thinking about it because you're all saying, like, I can't comment on it because I'm not in that position at the minute, fortunately. But there's a lot of blokes looking for a lot of work, and sometimes I reckon it comes down to people just not being willing to do anything else though either. Like there's a lot of blokes that'll just sit on a digger and they won't go and do something else to stay busy. Like there's been times where I haven't had a week's work for me digger, but I'll go and drive someone else's, or I'll go and drive a truck and dog for someone, or like I think it probably a lot of people could just not be so proud and just go and do whatever. Like who cares? Like they're all too worried what everyone thinks about them parking their digger in the shed and driving someone else's shit or whatever. Like who gives a fuck? Like if you're taking money off someone else and putting it in your wallet, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
yeah, I don't
You
know.
couldn't have said it any better. Like, yeah, you just, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Don't be too proud to say you're doing something else. I got a mate that was telling me recently they put an ad up for an operator. And he said they had like 100 and something applicants, whereas usually until now we've had, you'd be lucky to get two. And then they had 100 applicants, and not majority, but a lot of them actually have their own diggers, but just happy to park them up and come and work for someone else for a bit till they get busy again. So
Yeah, that's
it's
what
good
it's
to see some.
about. Just
Yeah, yeah. You got
do
to do
whatever
it,
it takes. Hey, like just because you specialize in fucking high-end final trim doesn't mean you can't go and fucking clean out Nana's backyard with the weeds and take the truckload of shit to the tip. Like, whatever keeps it moving, who cares? Like,
yeah.
yeah, people are just too proud, eh? Like, oh, I do civil final trim. Well, fucking whoop-de-doo, mate. If it's sitting in the shed doing nothing, it's still no good. Like, just go and do a job just go and do any job. Doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah,
take on
true,
whatever.
true. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, it doesn't mean you have to also be just in, earth moving. Like, you can go do something else. Like, you can go subby for a mate that does scaffolding, even just to keep. If you really need money that bad, just go and do anything. Just to keep cash flow going. We've got Jag T609. He's saying, what happens if you get a job for your digger, but you're driving for someone else? Yeah, what do you do then? So I suppose he
You
means,
just,
what do you do?
You just
you just got to be
fucking, if old
up
mate's giving
front.
you a
Yeah. So I go
If
ahead.
Be
old
up
mate's giving you a
front.
job steering his because you didn't have any for 2 weeks and he booked you for a week, well, he wins, eh? Like, yours is just going to have to stay in the shed. If old mate can't wait and he wants you tomorrow, well, you got to
Yeah,
take what you had first and be loyal to the bloke that's giving you a good job. Like, yeah,
yeah,
that's
That's
happened a
it.
million times before.
yeah.
That's it. You just got to be up front. You say, listen, I've got a week free, but if something comes in, can we work something out? Or,
Yeah, yeah, that's
there's no
true.
point in hiding behind the door because it ain't going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose it's better for the guy that you're going to go and work for to just let him know and say, listen, I've got my own gear, but I'm just going to come and help out for a bit. But the deal is, if something comes up, I'll finish until you get someone, for the next day or two, and then or I can only help you out until I get something. I suppose, yeah, you got to work it out with them, yeah. But you got to be willing to also lose a job because, like Jack was saying, if what if you don't get the job and then for 3 weeks you're just sitting at home and just waiting for
Well,
someone to call?
what if old
Yeah,
mate's giving you 3 weeks solid work driving his digger? And old mate only wants you for half a day. Like, you're not going to go do the half a day's work when you've got 3 weeks teed up, even though it's not in your machine. Like, I'm not dragging mine out of the shed for half a day when you got 3 weeks with one bloke and going to piss him off because you go piss off for half a day. Like, you can drop more money doing that than what you can not working yours for half
yeah,
a day. Like, you've got to do the toss up. What's worth more to you? Like,
yeah,
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 100%, 100%. There's the pride is a big thing. Like I'm one for that. sometimes I'll think, I'll stay at home for 2 days, before I go look for anything. But then, once the 2 days are up, you're like, well, shit, I missed out on like 3 opportunities to go help someone else.
Yeah, yeah. And that's it. Like you say, if you're not working, there's no income, but the bills are still going to keep coming. Everybody still wants their
100%.
money. Yeah.
Variety's the spice of life, I reckon. I don't care. I'd rather go drive someone else's digger or their truck or whatever than sit at home and do nothing.
Yeah. Jag P609 saying you're better off selling your machine and stay and work for someone. Yeah, look, each to their own, each to their own. Like I've done something similar to that, but it's not because there's not enough work for me. It's just I'm choosing to do that because of the podcast. But some people still want to have their own business. Like we were saying last week, we had a similar chat, and we're saying some people want to keep doing their own thing and striving and be their own sort of boss. You know what I mean? So it depends on everyone's situation.
You got to start somewhere too. Like I remember when I first went out on my own, I didn't have any work because you just brought a machine and no one knows who you are and no one knows you got one and you haven't got your name out there. But if you don't pull the pin from where you are and commit to it, it makes it very difficult to get started. So, I drove a truck and dog 4 days a week for someone for 9 months because he committed to me. He said, I'll give you 4 days a week. You can do your own shit 3 days a week if it comes in and when it comes in. And then, that's how you got going. And I still work for that bloke all the time. But I take my machine now. He'll use me, I don't know, maybe nearly a month a year.
Yeah.
But you built, that was a relationship you built, so that was worth that too then, because you've got a relationship with someone now.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. No, well said, man. I agree. Yeah. No, very good. And thanks to everyone that's online and also providing comments. So keep it going, guys. If you've got something else to talk about, or you got a topic, or you got a question, hit us up while we're here. Yeah, very interesting. It is very quiet still. I am seeing a couple of little jobs pop up here and there, but it's nothing like what it used to be. Yeah, nothing. Like I was saying last time, I don't get any messages from agencies anymore, like plant hire agencies. They used to message us daily. We've got this job, we need a 5-tonner, we need a 20-tonner, we need this, we need that, we need a grader. Now it's like nothing. You get once a week, you'll get something like, we need a 5-ton machine or a posi combo tomorrow, and that's it. That's not even that. It's very, very quiet. So, yeah.
Is that across the whole lot, but like residential and the subdivisions, or is it just across the subdivisions?
No, both. It's both residential subdivisions, but it seems to be like government jobs and that probably aren't as affected. But even then, you can see there's a lot of guys coming off those as well now. So there is a bit of a shift. Yeah, there is a shift. But you just need to look around and you just see not much activity. Like I used to see heaps of trucks on the road, heaps of guys with trailers, plant trailers, carting machines around, and that. And you don't see it anymore. You don't see it as much. And then
it did sort of have to slow down though, didn't it? Like it was just berserk. Like how many diggers would there be in Melbourne?
Yeah, heaps. Everybody's got one.
It couldn't be sustainable forever. Surely not. Like surely no one's that naive to think that it was just going to keep going like it was for the next 100 years. Like it was just insane.
Yeah. You could just buy a machine and go to work the next day, basically. Yeah, you're right. You're right. HPT Excavations is saying plenty of people buy machines and expect work, but you got to go and actually chase it. So yeah, he's right. You do. Yeah, unless you've got family that or friends or close friends that are doing some type of construction work, and that they're going to put you on. Yeah, you got to chase work, and even them, eventually if you're not good or you're not turning up and you're not performing, they're not going to put up with it forever either. So you can't be too complacent.
Without sounding like a cockhead or at the risk of it, like there's a lot of blokes that go and buy machines that can't fucking drive them too, eh? Like it's not something that you pick up in 15 minutes or anyone can go load a truck or sit on a stockpile or whatever, but like that's not operating. Like if you're going to go do general hire, you have to be good at just about everything. Like you can't just be good at one thing.
Yeah.
Like that's not how general hire works, eh? Because you don't know where you're going tomorrow. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. You have to put the effort in. That's what I say. Is if you're not going to put the effort in to run your business, it's only going to go so far until it stops.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to be willing to do, like you say, different things with it as well. So, yeah, right, general hire, you could be digging for a concreter one day, doing footings and that. Then you could be working for a plumber the next day, then doing trenches for a sparky. Then on a civil site, then you could be on a road construction site. Yeah, you got to be willing to work everywhere because that's what you have to do. So, yeah, that's what it is, yeah. Jags is saying, in Sydney, it's still great, but I'm a one-man band and I don't need to take over the world. Yeah, so, and some people like that. Some people like to be that one-man band, stay in their lane, not put on a million employees, and that's fine as well. Yeah,
That's me.
yeah,
I don't want anyone.
That's also me, mate. I just do what I can do, and that's it.
yeah, yeah. I feel like in one of my first videos, I said I realized that. And sorry, Mola Excavations is saying you've got to be passionate. That's true. But I was saying in one of my
100%.
first. What's that?
Oh yeah, I agree too with that comment.
Yeah, you got to be passionate. Yeah, you can't just talk about machines or talk about like I'm going to start a business and this and that and have no interest in the machines or no interest in the work because it's just going to get boring. You don't know. And I'll just go back to that point in a second. I've had operators that have worked for me, and I had some that took a lot of pride in their work, and they'll be talking about how they do this, and they'll know that they'll be talking about RL levels and cut levels and talking about maintenance and other machines, other brands. Then I've had guys that just come and know nothing about the machines, nothing else. They just know how to operate, and they can't give anything to a conversation that we're having. They just stand there, and then they just leave after a while, or they don't improve because they just want to come to it like a job because they heard that you can make good money and it's easy. You sit in the cab all day, but it's not like that. You got to be really passionate and interested in what you do. Take pride in your work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a job where you can just rock up and then do your day's work and go home. You got to actually be interested.
It is if you don't want to do it for long. But
Yeah.
if you're going to go and buy your own, I reckon you've got to have pretty big balls, and two, you do have to be passionate about it because you're going to be living in the fucking thing or living under it. When you're not in it, you're going to be under it. That's how it's going to work.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely. And that's what I was going to say earlier. So when I first started and started expanding, I sort of realized that there's like a tipping point, I called it. So it's where you're doing really well on your own, and then you start thinking, I'm going to expand, and then you start going and you actually buy another machine, put an operator, buy a truck, put an operator on, buy another piece of equipment, keep putting them on. And then it starts to get out of control, and then you're not really in the machine anymore just worrying about yourself and your machine. You're starting to worry about everybody else, and you can't really focus on what you're doing because you got to try and be the operator, the boss, everything. And then there's that tipping point where after a certain amount, you have to either put someone on to manage everyone, and either you do that, or you just go in the machine and hire someone to do it, or you just slow back down and be on your own again. So, and a lot of the guys like yourselves that I'm talking to, I'm hearing it more and more. People are just saying they're happy to just stay on their own. It works out easier, works out better.
It does. You don't have that you'd know yourself, Ivan. If you don't have work for 3 of them machines for the next week, where's the money going to come to pay their wages? If they don't work, they're going to say, well, hey, old mate's paying over here. I'm going there.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Oztrack likes what you said there, Jack. You're saying if you're not in it, you're going to be under it. Yeah, great insight to what we do. Love your work.
You can take it. You can take it however you want. You can get upset about it if you want to, but it's the fucking truth, eh? Like that's just how it is. That's reality.
Yeah. That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes. Yeah, but you can tell the difference between someone that's really passionate and someone that just comes there as a job and just goes home afterwards. There's a big difference. And that's the same with employees. You can tell if someone stays back, greases a machine, cleans it up after they finish and does these little extra bits, whereas the guys just clock off, pack up, close the door, go, leave it as it is. There's a difference. Or they come, I love guys that come out and want to check the levels and try and get it to the exact level and get it nice and flat. And they come up and I used to love when my operators used to ring me and send me a photo and say, hey, I just sent you a photo. What do you reckon? And they're like trying to, show their work and they're really proud of it. That's good, man. That shows me that they're really passionate and they're going to be someone that I'm going to keep focusing on. You know what I mean? What have we got here?
Right.
Breakout excavations. Being a good person in the industry, making relationships with good people, sharing the work around, it all goes a long way when you don't want to take over the world. Yeah, very good, very good comment. Very good.
Got to back everyone in your corner, don't you? Share it around a bit. Use, if you don't want to do it, share it out.
Yeah. I find that. Yeah.
No,
say again.
You go.
No.
It's your show. You go. No, it's yours, mate. You go.
You're the guest. You're the guest. I don't want to sound like I'm talking too much. Yeah. No, I was going to say the same. I was going to just agree basically and say that, I find that it works better when I work with, like, most of my mates are in the industry now. So that's what's happened. I've met people in the industry and I sort of stuck with them. So we ring each other all the time. What do you reckon, man? What do you reckon about this job? Or can I help? Do you want to help me quote this one up together? Have you got a truck free? Have you got a machine free for a job? And you got to help each other. Oh, do you know where I can tip this stuff, or how much does it cost to tip it over there? Or you need that. You need to be able to help each other. I think it works well. You're in your favour. What were you going to say?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Jack was going to say something earlier. What were you going to say? Have you forgotten?
I was just going to say you got to you talk about expanding and getting bigger and you're getting busier and it's really easy to get caught up in it when you're having a crack and you've got a bit going on and just go and buy more shit. Because we're using a roller 2 days a week, we'll go get one. Like, we'll just pay one off. Fuck it. We're using a skid steer for 2 days a week, we'll go buy one. Like, and it's very easy to get caught up in it, and then it's all good while it's going good, but when it quietens off and you got 4 machines sitting there and you're only got one bum and you're trying to make all them payments, like, a lot of blokes just get a bit carried away, I reckon, and just get a bit ahead of themselves. Like, you really need to be on to your budget and what's going on, as far as I wouldn't want to borrow any more money than what I could pay off in 3 or 4 full days per month. Like, so if shit does go quiet and you're working 2 days a week, well, you're still in front. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, you just got to be a bit onto your finances, don't you?
Yeah. I think that's a good point, man. Very good point. Yeah, I always look at it that way too. I always think, how much do I need to cover all the machines I got? So, like I say, I need to work a week to cover all that. Then the other week is going to be to cover all the wages, and then the third week will hopefully be some profit, or insurances.
Or the other week will be fuel and maintenance. So then you might get 4 days a month where you can put it in your pocket.
Yeah,
win-win.
That's what happened. 4 days. Woohoo!
That's not bad. 4 days out of 20.
Yeah.
20. That's why I work 31 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, no, that's it. No, look, and it is. Yeah, you're right. This is what we're talking about. I think we had a brief conversation about this, Jack. We were talking about getting big too quick, and that's what I did that at the start. Like, the way I kept expanding was, a builder would say to me, like, oh, if you had a posi track or a bobcat, you could cart all the material away for me from the front yard from the back to the front, and then you could do this and that. I'm like, yeah, I'll go get one then. So I just thought, I'll go get one, and then same thing. Oh, if you had a tipper, you could actually cart it. So I'm like, oh, I'll go buy a truck. And then you just keep buying and adding stuff, but you got to actually stop sometimes and go, hang on. Is it better for me just to stay with the 5-tonner, for example, and then get a subby to come in with a truck, or is it better for me just to get someone in when I need to with the posi? You got to just sort of weigh it all up,
100%.
And that's
a bit like having a truck, I reckon. It's a fucking necessary evil.
Yeah.
Use it fucking 1 day a fortnight, but you can't afford not to have it, because otherwise you'd be sitting there for 3 days fisting your ass waiting for someone to come shift you. Like, it's pure convenience, but it's not very fucking convenient to the bank account.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's true. That's why I got rid of my tipper. The last tipper I had, I got rid of it because I thought it wasn't worth putting someone on in there to drive it every day. It was a brand new tipper, so I had a massive repayment on it, and I was doing a lot of combo work at the end of it. So I did a lot of commercial landscaping and that. So I was really just in the posi and the 5-tonner mostly, and then the tipper would just sit there. And I'm thinking, I've got this $3.5 grand a month thing sitting there that I'm not getting any use out of, and I can't really. And it was the same thing. It's like I needed to do the odd load with it, or move the machines around with it, but it was like a massive necessary evil, exactly. And then I thought, I'm going to get rid of it. It's just not worth having it. Should have just kept my old truck. It was paid off. It's just an old thing. Didn't cost me anything. Only when I needed to repair something once a year. I should have just kept it.
Yeah, that's part of life, I suppose, and part of business.
It is. It is. We got Doug Sparks here. He's saying you have to love what you do and take pride in your work, as we were saying. Yeah, I've found all the young guys don't care about the machines. They turn up when they feel like it, make a mess, and leave. There you go. And then JJH is saying, then the fucking breakdowns and costs you a shitload to fix. Yeah, you're talking about trucks. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
sent mine in for a new clutch last week. Or that's what it went in for. And then, yeah, new cab mounts, new engine mounts, new unis. List goes on. Fucking $12,000 later. Shit hot.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
Oh, they're the best. They're my favourite item.
Yeah.
Wish I could have two.
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, true. And look, I feel for all the guys that use tandems every day and or trucking trailers. And I know their costs will be phenomenal for repairs and stuff. You know, my hat goes off to the guys that do it. And with the rates that I'm seeing going around at the moment, I mean, I really question whether it's worth having one. You know, so yeah, I don't know. If anyone's got one here, give us some opinions and what you do with it, because I feel like there's a lot of costs involved with tippers and all the semi tippers nowadays and all the trucks that are coming in.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Rates, they're a weird talking point.
Yeah, and a lot of people won't talk about them. Yeah, you're right. A lot of people try and hide their rates and compete and say, and I understand why, because a lot of guys are probably scared to say what they get, because then there might be kickbacks and people will be like, oh, how come you get that much? I don't get that much. And then, well, or I get a lot more than you, and then it's embarrassing. Oh, no, it's just like it's a funny talking point. You're right.
That's weird, but
and it's probably,
if like a customer rings you tomorrow, I bet you'll fucking tell them how much you're on.
Because you have to. Yeah. It's the first question they're going to ask.
Weird, isn't it? Won't talk about it, but fucking it is what it is, eh? Like fucking any pelican can ring you tomorrow and say they're from some mob and they want to use you, what's your rate? Like,
yeah. And I don't know, it probably would make it easier if there was some baseline figure that we could all work off, but there's not. Well, to my knowledge, anyway, that there's not.
Yeah. No, there isn't really. There's a few sites that have stuff up. What's that? Is it iSeek Plant? And a lot of people use that as a bit of an example. They have like hourly rates up on there, and then a lot of people use like the plant hire rates as an example. But then add obviously the commission that the plant hire takes off. They'll add that on for themselves. But even that's very cheap. Like a lot of the plant hires, I've seen some of my customers have come to me and said, "Oh, the plant hires only charge me this much for the same machine." And they're like, you realize you're a lot more. And I'm like, well, the plant hire is going to send you some Joe Blow. Who knows who they're going to send you? So if you want, take that risk. But with me, what you're going to get. So that's my price, man. If you want, I'll pack up and go. And they're like, oh, no, straight away, no. Yeah. So that's how there is no like set rate. So I suppose it goes with what experience you have, what you're willing to take. And UDA Frank saying some people work too cheap, and that's a big problem. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but
I think you go. Your turn.
Yeah, in saying that, probably the ones that are working cheap have 4 or 5 machines and have 4 or 5 operators that need to work every day of the week.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, so they drop their rate a bit so they can keep their machines going. Yeah, you're right. But that is a trap too, because then you have to pay your operators a little bit less as well. Or if you are paying them, the average rate, then you're obviously going to be, losing. You're not making any profit really. So people don't realise that to keep them going, he's not actually achieving anything. He's just busy broke. And one of my mates told me that's the best thing he ever said. He said everybody asks you when you first see him, like, "Hey, you're busy? How's work going? You busy?" And he goes, "That's not what I want. That's not what you should be asking. You should be saying that you're making money. How's your business going? You're making money, because you can be busy but not making any money."
Yeah.
And somebody else said here, T Wills is saying, asking other people in the game what the RA sign of respect to the game. Asking other people in the game what the rates are. I think that's what he meant to say. Respect in the game. I don't know. I have a tandem. They get paid 110 plus GST an hour. There you go. Hume Excavations is saying, he has a tandem. They get paid 110 plus GST an hour. There you go. Well, the first person that's actually put their rates up on here. Well done, man. Well done. Yeah, that is. What do you guys like up in your states? And like, do you get similar rates for tandems?
I wouldn't bring my tipper out of the shed for less than $150 an hour.
There you go.
Will not leave the shed. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You got to do the maths on it, and a lot of people don't, right? So if you're doing 100 k's an hour, my tipper's using around about 35, 40 litres an hour. So at $2 a litre, what's that costing you? Then you got to take out maintenance, rego, insurance, all that caper. Like, no fucking way am I driving that for fucking 90 or $100 an hour. Not a fucking chance. I'm not going to sit in it for $10 an hour because that's all that's left.
Yeah. I worked out when I had operators in the tipper. At the end of the day, I'd probably make like $200 profit.
Not working out the bed, eh? You might as well leave it in the shed. Fuck it.
Yeah, and then that was with like a little set. Like I used to allow, I don't know how much, like 10 grand a year for maintenance or whatever. But if there was anything other than that, like bigger than 10 grand, or whatever. So as soon as I had punctures and other things, that $200 was gone. So it was like most of the time not making much out of it. So I just stopped putting guys in tandems.
For a set of drive tyres there fucking 4 weeks ago. There's fucking $4,000 worth of tyres on the back of the fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like dream on, pal. We're not running that for $100 an hour. No way.
Yeah, that's the thing. Customers think it's cheap.
They do. They think, just because. And the only trouble with the trucking game is, with all due respect, nearly any pelican can do it.
Mm.
So,
yeah,
you're competing with all these different blokes that come in and that's all they can do is drive a truck. Some of them can't even go backwards in them. I think we know what we're talking about here, but you're competing with that. Like, what hope have you got? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a bit more, digger driving, and that's a little bit more specialised. I'm not saying that anyone can't do it, but it's a bit more specialised, and you try and do a bit of different stuff. Whereas anyone can follow a white line down the highway. Like,
yeah.
I mean, you do get with all not talking down to the blokes that drive truck and dogs. Like, some of them blokes can fucking reverse, eh? Like, they are fucking top notch. Like, there's some operators and there's operators, but. Yeah, at the end of the day, like if you're only getting to it from point A to point B, so it's a very, very competitive market. Very competitive.
Yeah. No, it is.
That was like another operator told me up here. He runs his own business. He said it's true. No one works out what it actually costs an hour to run a machine or a truck or anything.
Yeah. I did at one stage. I've got I get a bit anal like that. I've got some spreadsheets set up. I was going to actually post them up. I should find them. I used to have spreadsheets set up that calculated all the costs of each piece of equipment, and then I used to calculate that against what I'm paying my operators, and then it used to work out for me what my actual daily profit is on that machine. That's how I worked out $200 for the tipper, and I used to have that on all my machines for every bit of equipment, and I used to say, is it worthwhile? And then I used to keep, and as I put their rates up and that, I used to change the spreadsheet, and then I'd say like, nah, it's not worth having someone on. And that used to help me decide, do I keep that bit of equipment or is it time to move it on? So yeah, I might see if I still got that spreadsheet somewhere, and then maybe even post it up for people to use. You can use it to put your own stuff in there.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably when they look at their business and look at the money they're making, they actually probably only look at the turnover. So they think they're making money when they're probably not. Like, I don't lodge my own bass, but I go through it every quarter, and you look at your profit and loss statement, and you actually see what you got left.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people probably get trapped in the fact that you're billing out $100,000 a month, you're making $100,000. Well, if there's 99 going out, you're making fuck all.
Yeah. Exactly right, man. And then you still got to pay tax and that. People don't realise all that. A lot of people don't do, and that's something that I spoke about in one of my old episodes, is that they don't keep any money for GST. I hear so many people, and I did that not long ago, actually. I have to make an admission. I didn't do it once, but I usually put away a certain amount for GST and tax to make sure I've got money when the bills come, when they do come, because they will come. And then they don't do it, and then they just use all the money they got in their account, and then they end up and they think, oh, I'm doing really well, but then they get this massive GST bill or a tax bill, and they're like, whoa, what the hell is this? How am I going to pay this off? And then you're on payment plans, and then they're on all this jazz, and then it's just downhill from there.
I'll put my hand up. I was guilty of that when I first started my business. Yeah. Would have been at least for the first 3 years I didn't do it. You know,
Yeah.
it was none the wiser. You know, it was always on the ground. I was on the ground person. You know what I mean? So same old story. Jumped in, bought a machine, bought a truck, started working. Oh, yeah, this is great. You know, got a
Yeah.
tax bill. Went, oh, hold on, where's the money for that?
Yeah. Yeah. This is where my father-in-law used to have his own electrical business, and he was telling me that. He said, put away every time you someone pays an invoice, one of your invoices, straight away put away that 10% into a separate account, so you know you've got the money there in case you got to pay that for your GST or your BAS, and then another 10% in the same account just to allow for tax at the end of the year. And then you do that with every invoice you get that you get paid for, and you've got 20% sitting in there all the time. And then if you've got more, which I used to find, I always had more in there at the end of the year. You've got, that's a bonus for you. You get to keep that money and do something with it. Whereas the opposite end is, there was a point where I started running a bit low, and I just kept saying, "Oh, I'm not going to transfer 10% up for this invoice. I'll use it." The next one came in, I didn't do it again, and then I ended up just using all the money, and then I got a massive tax bill. I was like, "Holy shit, what now?" Yeah, so that happens. It can happen. Yeah. So UDA Frank. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
No. Your show again, mate. You're right.
No, go. I went first before.
I was going to say now.
If you think of it, tell me. UDA Frank is saying, do the maths on how many days a year we actually work, take out weekends, weather, public holiday, etc. You're right. This actually, that calculation helped me determine one of my machines to get rid of it, because I worked out the amount of times that machine didn't work as opposed to it working. So in the 365 days, I had that machine, including my worker taking sickies, not coming into work and stuff like that. There was, I can't remember the numbers, I'm going to lie here, but it was like almost 2 months worth of not getting any profit, not working, not making money. And I was like, maybe even more.
It'd be there'd be 104 days of just weekends without public holidays.
Oh yeah, sorry. So not in not if I didn't include public holiday, the weekends. I can't remember what it was. It was like a massive amount anyway. And when I calculated that, I thought this machine doesn't work anywhere near like the full year, because I never had anyone to put in that machine when the person wasn't working, or if it was a public holiday, what are you going to do? But yeah, there was just like a massive amount, and I thought, nah, there's no point keeping it. Not making me anything.
But that was what my comment earlier, like 20 days a month. If you work out just a month, I'm pretty sure it's tight on the 20 days. If you don't work, the weekends and take out a public holiday here and there.
Yeah. Here we go. Approximately 270 days. Can't remember off the top of my head of working days. So UDA Frank saying it's about 270 days that actually it works out of 365. Yeah, it probably is something like that.
Be less, because if you're at 365 and you take out 104 just for weekends straight up, you're already at 266. So take out public holidays on top of that.
Yeah.
Depends which state you're in, how many public holidays you get.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we get Victoria gets a few. I'm just trying to quickly look while we're talking, because I've got the spreadsheet opening in front of me. How's that? see what I've written here.
He's on the ball.
We got 13 public holidays. Then if you got a full timer, you got 4 weeks annual leave, 10 days sick leave. What else did I have here? So this is going back to when I had people. So it's probably a year ago, 2 years ago now. There was
saying, how's the hat? They must be pretty good, but they must be hard to get hold of. I didn't get one in the mail. I've been waiting for the mailbox.
I was waiting for him to come on and comment, because I didn't tell him I received it. I wanted to just surprise him tonight. There you go. Thank you very much for the hat, man. Appreciate it. And the stickers as well. Thank you. No, very good, man. Very good. This is going up in the pool room. Straight in the pool room. That's it. No, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I haven't got the information here with me right now, but I worked out somewhere in one of these spreadsheets. I'll keep looking while we're talking, but you guys, keep firing away. I'll just keep looking here. Where is it? Required earnings? No, that's not it. Yeah, you can see I've got like a million spreadsheets. Subby versus full time, is it worth dry hiring the machines, the tipper calculations? I used to calculate everything, man. I used to drive myself batty.
It's funny hearing this, because like I never thought of it really so in depth. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's not just a matter of hopping in the seat, doing 8-10 hours, and going home. You know,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
heaps more in it.
Yeah. There is. This is what we always talk about. They're all unpaid hours as well. You know, all those things you do apart from your hourly work with the customer. Then there's all these other unpaid hours as well. You know, float shifting machines around, cleaning them before they go out, cleaning your tracks, cleaning, washing, maintenance, all that stuff. Yeah, there's just heaps of unpaid stuff. Going out to see jobs for the quote, coming back. You know, all your quoting time. All the time you're ringing around for tip sites, you're ringing around for trucks, getting prices for material and supplies. Yeah, that's all unpaid hours.
You'd have to be doing 15 hours a week, easy.
Yeah, yep.
Easy.
And then you got payroll if you do it all yourself. I used to do all my own payroll. I think that was probably one of my things I did. I tried to take on too much. So I think that burnt me out a bit. Just doing all the paperwork, all the payroll, quoting, invoicing, going on the machines. You know what I mean? Floating machines. I used to float machines after hours, go at 4 in the morning, move one for the operator for the next job. I think at the end it just burns you out. You can't just keep going. And then go to your own job and work all day and then come back and move machines again. You know?
But that's part of it. You know, if you go and put someone on that does that stuff, that's another cost you have to add in. So as business owners,
So you buy a chair?
You take on as much as you can to try and save them costs.
Yeah. No, that's true. Sorry, what were you going to say as well, Jack?
No, yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, see you buy a chair, another $100, put another bloke on to do your float shifts and do your paperwork. Like, where's that 100 coming from? Like,
yeah, that's it.
You buy three more diggers to pay for him. Like, it sort of just doesn't add up, does it? That's how it snowballs, isn't it?
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, sorry. Terrapo just wrote his daughter broke her arm. Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Sorry to hear about that. Hopefully she's all right. Yeah, I was wondering because I messaged him earlier and he didn't respond, so I knew something had to have happened. There you go.
Probably busy. Yeah. Well, it looks of that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So, yeah, sorry to hear about that. Hopefully she's all right. Hopefully she's doing well. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, well, you know what? That's probably a good conversation for another time, gents, because we've got we're over 9 o'clock already. Everyone probably wants to go to bed and go to sleep for work. But yeah, I reckon we can pick up on that another time as well. We might talk about running your business and all those other all those hidden costs and all the extra work you got to do.
Yeah.
And UDA Frank is saying, we know to the dollar what we have to turn over every month just to make cost and profit. After that, which means silly me works a lot of Saturdays, too many expenses. Yeah. So I suppose he's saying yeah.
I try and keep me weekends for me play money.
Yeah.
Like, if you work a Saturday, it's a bonus, that means we can go and save up for a new attachment, or like I've been saving for 10 years for a new pressure washer. Like you just put that money aside for something else, that's your rainy day fund. If you're working weekends just to stay in front, I reckon you might have overcommitted a bit.
Yes, that's a good point too, man. That's right. Yeah, if you have to go and work on a Saturday or even a Sunday, then that means something's not right.
We all do it. Like I'm not saying we don't do it. I work nearly every Saturday and Sunday, but like it's not because I have to make payments. It's because there's just that much work there at the minute that I just got to keep everyone happy. But and I don't mind. Like I say, it's my passion. I don't mind working. Doesn't bother me. But yeah, I wouldn't like to be in a position where that that thing had to move Saturday and Sunday just to keep it moving. Like fuck that.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah. I suppose when you get to that point, you know something's not right. Yeah, that's right. When you have to do it, you got no choice, but you got to go. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So UDA Frank saying, yeah, that's his play money for his cars. Yeah, that's it, man. Same here. Same. Oh, well, I will have to cut us off here because it's already after 9. It's been good. The chat's been really, really good, and I appreciate you boys coming on and your time again tonight.
No dramas.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Yeah, so we will. Oh, hang on a second. Terry Pro's saying something as well. Hang on. Let's include him here because he did give me a hat. We better let him in. When he says when I did the sums, including bill and mortgage, worked out around 3 days a week to cover costs and 2 to get into profit. Yeah, so I think it worked out similar when I did stuff when I did those calculations. And Hume Excavation says 3 days for expenses, 3 days for play money. Yeah, so. They're all similar sort of things. Depending on what you buy, your equipment, how new it is, what your overheads are, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
Just managing your
guys,
overheads. That's the most important thing.
It is.
Keeping an eye on them because they can grow on you real quick just with just small things, like subscriptions and things can get out of hand real fucking quick.
Yeah. And that's the other thing I'll just finish up on that too, is that even you look at your other expenses, Netflix and all those other things that we do. People complain about, not having money. And when I do my investment stuff, with properties and that, people talk about budgeting and that, and the broker always tells me that the first thing he does when he looks at their statements is look for Netflix, all these Uber Eats, all these things they just keep paying for and doing stuff, and they complain about not having money. And he says, well, if you just cut down on all that stuff, you're already helping yourself. So yeah, you can get caught up with subscriptions and that too. Yeah, you're right. All right, guys, I'm going to cut it off here for the evening. Thank you very much for joining me again, and appreciate your feedback tonight as well and your input. And who knows, we might do it again very, very soon, eh?
All good.
Thank you.
That's it. All right, I'll let you guys log off, and then I'll just finish up, and we will speak very, very soon.
No worries. See you, Jack.
See you guys. He's logged off. See you guys. Oh, awesome, man. Awesome. What a nice bunch of guys, man. I appreciate their feedback. That's why I keep putting it back on. And I hope everyone else here is enjoying these group sessions. Probably a bit better than me just talking at you all the time. So appreciate all these guys coming on. So thank you. If you are interested also in coming on the show and being a guest, send me a message, hit me up, and we'll work something out. I've got a whole bunch of guys lined up as well, so there's more to come. So make sure you tune in every week. And then I'm also doing, so for example, if you did see the one with Alex, I did an interview with him the other day live. So usually I haven't been doing them live. So it depends on, some people don't like to do it live, but if you're keen to do it live, if you're keen to do one offline or in person, hit me up and I'm happy to do something. I'm happy to get more and more guests on here. So so thank you. Make sure you follow me on all the social media platforms. So YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everything. We're on everything. So make sure you follow me on all those aspects. Go to www.earthworkshub.com.au. So go to the website. I've made it so it's friendly for our whole construction industry and earthworks especially. I've got tip sites on there. So if you've got a tip site you know of, also add that in. I've got all the contractors, suppliers, service providers, everyone's on there. You can find them if you need them. You can advertise your business on there if you want to as well. Everything's on there. Events, jobs. So I've got some people that have listed already on there saying that they're looking for work. And then if you're actually looking for operators or workers, you can also advertise on there as well. So make sure you go to earthworkshub.com.au. You can also get merch on there. I've got all my sponsors on there. You can get discounts on their site if you're an Earthworks Hub member. So also go and register yourself on that on the online website. And that's it. I'll stop talking. Like I said, I was wrecked today. I got perked up a bit now. But thank you to everyone for joining this evening. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Have a good week. See you guys.